This is Jeremy Justice Waxman with Esports Max, and it's time to wrap up this past week of LCS. The best players, the biggest plays, and what to watch for next are all right here. It's time now to hand out the prestigious Esports Max Player of the Week awards, starting with Europe. At 5-10, Rocket's season seemed all but lost after they came in third place in the spring split. However, they suddenly caught fire and have won their last 5 games in a row, now tied with Millennium for 5th place, and they're showing no signs of slowing down. When a team goes on a run like that, it's an effort from all 5 players that makes it possible. With that said, a lot of credit must go to Rocket's jungler, Jankos. He's truly stepped up his game recently, applying pressure all over the map in the early game to make the enemy team scared of where he might be at any time. He hasn't slacked off in the late game either, taking it upon himself to be a primary playmaker and a big reason for Rocket taking down 2 top teams in SK Gaming and Alliance. In North America, we're looking at Counter Logic Gaming. It seems when they're doing well, Doublelift is always right at the heart of things. Whether you love him or hate him, there's no denying that he is CLG's biggest star, and he's been playing like it. A combined 11.5 KDA ratio over the last 2 games is fairly impressive, but what's even better to see is that, all things considered, he is probably playing the best he ever has. He's always been a strong player, but typically lacked map awareness and would just farm until his team told him they needed him. This split, he's done an incredible job of balancing farming with staying with his teammates when needed, and it's one of the reasons that CLG is looking stronger than ever before. It's time now to look at our biggest plays of the week, starting with Europe. There are jukes, and then there are jukes. Millennium's Kerp shows off impressive mechanical skill, avoiding death multiple times, then turning around to pick up the kill for himself.
A couple of tower hits, Kerp's so low and limited fancies it, and he may well get it. Oh, the Sonic Wave! Belly slammed away there. The ultimate comes out from Connex. He's going to take a lot of the Cullen airwax this time around. Kerp is running for his life, and he may well be able to get away. He goes back aggressive onto Unlimited, takes him down, slams him. The Ignite is running. The Summoner Heal comes out, and Kerp gets away with it like a big fat lad.
Kerp is incredible at this game. He manages to tower dive, get away, survive the race, dodge the skill shots, and still get the kill at the end of the day.
Now over to North America. As an AD carry, the single most important thing to keep in mind during teamfights is positioning. That often means making sure you stay safe, but sometimes it means flashing over a wall into the fight to make sure your team comes out on top. Curse's Cop shows us what marksman instincts are all about.
Has been able to slice and dice at least 3 times in this fight. It has gone so long. A great job by Kaz.
Oh, Cobb flashes in!
Cobb still staying alive. One last shot. A few more for Westrice. The Acathian surprise. If nothing will take him down. And Cobb is going to stay alive in the fight.
Cobb is firing this whole time. He flashes over the wall away from Kez. He relies on Quas to come in with the flash body slam for the kiting. And he just runs barely out of range.
Let's close things out with what to watch for as we look ahead to Week 9, once again starting with Europe. First, will Alliance figure out what's going wrong? After looking virtually unstoppable for most of the summer, they're currently on a 4-game losing streak and only have a 1-game edge on second place Fnatic. If they keep up this pace for much longer, the playoffs could be rough. Speaking of Fnatic, do they have yet another second half surge in them? In the spring, after a 7-0 start, they suddenly forgot how to win games, only to rack up a bunch of wins to come out on top. Fnatic certainly seems to be at their best when the pressure is on, so are they about to make it 4 first-place finishes in a row in the LCS? Our game to watch this week is Gambit Gaming vs Alliance. After temporarily benching him, Gambit has brought Diamond back into the starting lineup. Will he help the team continue to play Giant Killer, or will Alliance round back into form? In North America, we're wondering if LMQ is as good as their record indicates. They're currently tied for first, but have struggled at times this split, with losing records against Cloud9, Team Curse, and Team Dignitas. However, they do have winning records against Counter Logic Gaming and Team Solo Mid, so we'll be keeping an eye on them to see if they really are good enough to grab a top 2 spot. On the subject of win-loss records, how much does Cloud9 say? They're tied for 4th, and haven't appeared to be able to win consistently at any point this summer. And yet, they're the only ones to have a losing record against only 2 teams. These next few weeks are going to tell us a lot about how strong Cloud9 really is. The North American game to watch this week is LMQ versus CLG. These two are starting off the week tied for 1st, and every team is desperate to separate themselves from the rest of the pack. A match between the 2 squads at the top of the table is a great place to start. That'll do it for the wrap-up this week. Don't forget to check back with us, as we'll have full coverage and statistics from every LCS game. For news, event coverage, features, and more, everything you need to know about League of Legends is right here on Esports Max.